I'm Brooklyn and I'm 11 years old.
I'm Trinity and I'm 9 years old.
Katie is the safety parent.
Katie shares her gum and mints with us, and we kind of ask for it a lot.
Caitlin is the fun parent.
Caitlin is also very kind.
And they both have to agree on one thing before we can do it.
Sometimes Caitlin's like, yeah, let's do it. And then Katie's like, no, you can't do that.
We don't really think of ourselves as their mothers. We think of ourselves as their parents, and calling us mom has not been ever something we kind of thought to require of them. Every once in a while, they'll refer to us as moms, and I think it's mostly because parents is pretty hard to spell. So it's been coming home from school that they'll say, my mom said this. I'm like, oh my God, that's so sweet. And she's like, I couldn't spell parents, it's too hard. So, you know, it's a shorthand that works for them, and it works for us.
Normally, after we have dinner and get ready for bed, we have family story.
First impulse had been to go. Are you guys paying attention?
First impulse had been to go.
Yeah. Caitlin and I met about 10 years ago. I think very quickly after we sort of got the marriage part done, we were thinking about how to have a family.
We weren't sure if we wanted to expand our family or do a straight adoption.
We decided to go with Amara pretty early on in the process, and one of the reasons is that we didn't want the fact that we were two women to be a barrier, and Amara's LGBTQ plus friendly.
We went to the training about an hour south of here. Just driving back, it was like a moment where I could tell that, you know, we had switched all the way from closed adoption, no birth family contact, to I think we just want to be foster parents, even if we never adopt. Like that's our path.
When we started learning about becoming foster parents, one of the things that was very clear was that we wanted to be able to keep a sibling set together. After we were licensed, it was quite quick after that. The girls' file was the first one that we saw, and it just felt like it was a perfect fit for us.
Stella is our little sister, and she likes giving us hugs, like a lot of hugs. And sometimes she asks me or Brookie if like we can hold her, and I always say yes, but she's like getting like heavier and heavier, so sometimes I can't. And I like tickling her.
Brooke, Trinity, and Stella moved in with us, and they're all half-sisters through their father, so they each have different mothers.
Our first dinner together, we met them at the Everett DSHS, got everybody into the car seats, drove to the nearest McDonald's, and I just remember being like, do any of you have food allergies? You know, just starting with the basics, all of the stuff that wasn't in the any of the files. And Brooke turns to us and goes, so, you two sisters or something? And we had to do, we're just like, oh my God, what did they tell you?
The first night, we were sort of getting everybody ready for bed and situated. Trin turned to her sister and said, Brookie, thank you for being mom when we were living with Daddy. Brooke definitely helped out, just helped us sort of know how to navigate and how to best care for her sisters. And it felt like a lot for an 8-year-old to sort of have to take on responsibility-wise, to sort of be always looking out for her sisters. We were the girls' first non-relative placement. And we began to understand that the birth family might feel incredibly threatened by us and incredibly scared for their children's well-being. And so I think that that was a helpful frame to have when first interacting with the birth families. Very early on, it was clear that Stella was on the path to reunification.
Elle was always amazing to us, but the first couple of calls were very fraught. She had just kind of come out of this really tough experience and found out that her daughter was in a potentially adoptive placement. Elle has been a big part of our lives now since she and Stella reunified. We see them a ton.
Stella reunifying actually helped me understand, I think, a little bit more about how to be a foster parent.
Trin's family also is a huge part of our world now. Now we talk to Trin's Aunt Mindy every Sunday. Trin's mom passed away when she was young. She was 17 months.
We went to go see her mom's grave and to allow her to do some mourning around that, and then also to connect her to her mom's family, because we didn't have any stories to share with her. We didn't know what to tell her that her mom liked or didn't like. And so we were really anxious to connect her to her mom's part of the family. We went down and had a meal with the family, and one of the things that was the most shocking, I think, is that several of the people that we were meeting up with, they knew Brooke because they had been taking care of Brooke, and so they were overjoyed to see Brooke again too. And so we sort of had thought, oh, this is Trin's family, this is something we're doing for Trin, not realizing that these were also connections that Brooke had had when she was young. I think that it was just a testament to how important it is to sort of keep and maintain these connections to birth families.
My mom, her name is Ashley. Right now she lives at WCCW.
We called up Brooke's aunt, and the aunt said, oh, Brooke's mom is at Washington Correction Center for Women, and she would like to be in touch. Is it okay with you if she calls? And we said, of course, here's the number. And so we were able to connect Brooke with her mom within the first 24 hours that she was in our house.
An inmate at Washington Correction Center for Women.
Have you been touching chickens? Okay, I'll press the buttons for you.
Thank you. Hello?
Hi.
Hi, baby. What are you doing?
Getting filmed.
Ever since that night, she has called every single day since the girls have moved in with us. But her calls are so, so, so important to Brooke, and this is kind of more connection than they've had in years.
Brooklyn she's just a very special girl. Like, I just want her to have a good life because my life wasn't that great. Her life wasn't very good at the beginning either. I had every intention of trying to keep my rights. And, you know, the more I got to know Katie and Caitlin, the more I realized, like, they were such amazing people, and, like, everything they ever said to me, they kept their word, you know? They were more like sisters to me after our first meeting. Like, I felt like they were family. So I chose to do an open adoption with them just based off my meeting them and talking to them and seeing what kind of people they were. If my daughter can live her best life and I can still be part of it, like, that's all that matters to me.
Becoming foster parents, it's so much more rewarding than it is difficult. But I think that it's important to get yourself set up with the support network. For us, Amara was a huge part of that.
It feels like navigating a lot of the relationships that the girls have with various family members is really complicated, but it's also really worth it.
I've been proud to be involved in foster care in this way.
There we go. I did it.
Not only do we get to have this super rad family and these girls who add a lot of adventure to our lives every day, but It feels like an amazing contribution to get to make to the girls, to their families, and even to kind of our broader community here.